Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody back here once again, and for tonight's review, I'm going to be talking about a movie that I just watched just today, and I actually got sent to me from the producer of the film on an online screener, and it is a Brazilian horror film called Beyond the Grave. And I've heard several things about this movie, and several reviews on it, and it made me want to check it out. I was really interested in doing it, and I'm pretty glad that I did, because I personally really did enjoy this film, and the movie is called Beyond the Grave. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of the director because I know I'll get it wrong, so I'm going to write it, of course, in the title of this video. But what we have here is a zombie apocalyptic film that, like I said, takes place during a zombie apocalypse, and it basically follows a man who doesn't really have a name in the film. He's known only as the Officer, and he's, as I said, a police officer, and he is actually one of the last human beings left in the world. One thing that is different about this movie than any other zombie film that I've seen is that there's hardly any zombies in the movie, and there's hardly any gore in the film as well. And I know that for a lot of people this might turn some people off, but honestly, this movie really did capture what it would be like if you were one of the last few humans left, in the world. The isolation and just basically just being alone all the time, the depression. And you can really tell that just being alone all the time has driven this man to being, just sort of a, kind of an angry, sort of, doesn't really show any emotion throughout the entire film. And you can really see what just being alone for that long has done to him. Basically, when the film begins, you're introduced to him. He's driving in his car, and he doesn't dress like a police officer at all. He's actually dressed all in black. He's got a black jacket on, black pants, and black shoes. And when the film begins, he walks into this room where these three men are basically sitting around having they're eating something that kind of resembles blood. And he only has a gun with him, and he ends up shooting the three men dead. After he's done that, he is then attacked by this other man who is hiding out with a samurai sword, and he ends up killing him. This is not a spoiler. This happens within the first about 5 minutes of the movie, and that pretty much just establishes that this is basically what he's been doing for however long it has been since the apocalypse has happened. He's just going around basically killing people and just basically trying to survive. He's a complete survivalist, and he's basically just hardened to the core. Like I said, trying not to show any emotion, trying not to show happiness or whatsoever. But he does show a bit of compassion later on. As he's driving around, he ends up picking up a boy and a girl. They're about, I don't know, they seem to be teenagers, and they're boyfriend and girlfriend, and he picks them up, and he's basically driving them around. But the thing is that he doesn't really try to talk to either one of them. Even during when they're driving around, the boy actually starts talking as if the guy was asking him questions, and he ends up using an older man's voice, like asking questions like, "Oh, where are you from?" And then the boy will say, "Oh, we're from the South." And then he'll go back and be like, "Oh, I was from the South too, and I was really safe there. I felt really safe." And just something that he does, basically, just to say something, because the man is not saying anything to them. But of course they drive around a lot, and basically, as I've said, they do come across some zombies. But the zombies are very slow. They really don't do anything in it. At one point, a zombie comes across a girl, and the girl, I believe she doesn't speak at all in the film, and she basically just runs over to the man and does a looks like this at him to say, "Hey, there's a zombie outside about to kill my friend," and they don't do anything. Like, the man doesn't try to kill the zombie at all. He just grabs the kids, gets in the car, and drives off. And for a lot of people, when they're expecting a zombie film, they're expecting people dying, they're expecting people being torn apart, bleeding, just gore, and there's nothing like that in this movie. This movie is really more of a survival film in a way, and it's sort of just being alone out in this dark, just this dark, lonely world where you and a couple of kids are just driving around. There's no one for miles, you know, until of course you finally come across somebody. And I think that's what I liked about the movie. It was very character driven. You know, you follow these three main characters around, you know, and you know, like I said, there really wasn't much going on, but at the same time, you know, it was really you know, really showed the isolation that I guess some people would go through during a zombie apocalypse, which I did enjoy. At one point, they do come across a building with several people in it. There's an older man. There's a guy that almost shoots the officer main character with a gun, and he's kind of like this skinny, timid guy. And then a woman who's pregnant, and you are introduced to them, and they are very, you know, they're wholesome. They let them come in and eat. The man does not say anything to these people. Even the pregnant woman even offers him food, and he just doesn't eat. He doesn't do anything. He really just sits there and polishes his gun that only has several bullets in it. But you know, the oldest man that's in the movie, who's I guess sort of the one that's looking over everybody. You know, he's talking a bit about how that, you know, he just does what it's like. You know, he just does whatever he can to survive in this. You know, and the zombies, they, like I said, they really take a back seat. I personally don't think it's a kind of zombie movie. I think of it's more of it's just a survival film, because they really don't mention any of the zombies going on. And they do, of course, talk about, you know, what life is going to be like when this is all over, and whatever that is that they're waiting to be over. It's kind of a question, you know, will the apocalypse be eventually over, and will things start going back to normal, or will just, you know, it keep going on as just people being dead, and just, you know, just everyone dying until there's really nobody left. And that's, you know, and that's kind of, I think, what the question is about the movie is, you know, what will you do in that situation? How will you survive? Are you willing to sacrifice to survive? You know, I really don't want to give any more away of this movie, but I'll tell you guys a bit about it. Now, like I said, the movie's in Brazil. The movie is a Brazilian horror film, excuse me. So, but there is English subtitles from the version that I've seen. The movie's not available yet, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll let you guys know. I'll even leave a link down below to the Facebook page for anyone that's interested. But from the version I saw, you know, most of it's in, I believe it's Spanish is the language that they're speaking. And so if you're not into movies where you have to read subtitles, then this movie is probably not going to be for you. But if you are, then I definitely recommend, you know, at least giving this one a look. I really did enjoy it. There was, of course, a few things I didn't like about it. Like, for one thing, there'd be a scene going on, and something would be happening in that scene, and then it would cut to, like, maybe a few minutes later, and then whatever was just happening is now over, and everyone's fine. Like, at one point, when the officer goes into the house for the first time, or the building for the first time, and he almost gets shot by the timid little guy, you know, the shotgun, you see him punch the guy, and then it cuts to the scene of him sitting there with the two teenagers, and they're all sitting around a dinner table, and the oldest man is saying, you know, hey, sorry about that rude welcome, you know, we're just, you know, we don't, you know, and it's just it's kind of abrupt the way it is, you know, because you knew that there'd be something else that happened there, but they ended up cutting it, I guess. So for that, I wasn't really a fan of what they were doing there. But you know, other than that, I did like how the movie was filmed. It was filmed in a really sort of a dark, gritty way. It's a pretty depressing movie when it comes down to just, you know, just being alone and everything. Also, another thing I enjoyed about the movie is that there's a radio going on, and at the beginning of the film, the radio DJ is talking about how, well, there's really not that many people left, but, you know, but for the one last man that's out there staying alive, this song is for you. I hope you make it out. And I thought that was kind of funny of how that the DJ is basically talking to the officer in a sort of way, is saying, you know, whoever is left, you know, hope you guys make it and everything. And it really shows just how there's pretty much nobody in the world left except for just a couple people. So I did like that part. I thought that part was pretty funny. The radio is playing throughout the first half of the movie, and you know, it's at one point there's a guy who's basically telling a story about like his sister who got murdered or whatever, and it kind of, in some points it's humorous, and in other points it just adds to the depressing part of the film. But yeah, if you're interested in sort of survival movies, if you're interested in you know, very slow-paced you know, movies, just basically that's about isolation, then I'd recommend giving this movie a look, because like I said, it's a very slow movie. It's pretty depressing at points, but it does have its high points, and when the high points come in, it is actually a pretty good, entertaining film, I must say. But like I said, this movie is definitely not for everybody. The zombies are basically just backstory. They're there, but they don't, you know, you don't really see them really killing anybody that much in this movie. It's nothing like, let's say, Dawn of the Dead or anything like that. It's basically the complete opposite. But it is a very good, like I said, a very good, well-made film with believable characters, lots of character development, and yeah, I would say check it out, you know, if you're interested in it. But if you're like I said, if you're into Dawn of the Dead type movies, then this might not be up your alley. But if you're looking for something that's completely different from any other type of zombie movie, and if you're just interested in you know, seeing what it would be like if there was only a few people left in the world, then I'd recommend checking it out. Like I said, I'll leave a link down below to the Facebook page if you're interested in it. I don't know when the movie's going to be released, but I'm pretty sure when it is, it'll be posted on the Facebook page. But anyway, guys, thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks to everybody for subscribing and watching my videos. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you guys later.